Every business is asking the same question. How do we make AI work for us? The possibilities are endless and guessing is too risky, but sitting on the sidelines is not an option because one thing is almost certain. Your competitors are already making their move. No more waiting. With NetSuite by Oracle, you can put AI to work today. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP trusted by over 43,000 businesses. It's a unified suite that brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM into one single source of truth. That connected data is what makes your AI smarter, so it doesn't just guess. It knows how to intelligently automate routine tasks, deliver actionable insights, and help you confidently cut costs and move fast with AI-powered decisions. This isn't another bolted-on tool. It's AI built into the system that runs your business. If I were running a business with lots of moving parts, NetSuite is what I would use to help me stay ahead of the pack. Right now, get our free business guide, Demystifying AI, at netsuite.com/SPI. The guide is free to you at netsuite.com/SPI. netsuite.com/SPI. Is your business taking off? Well, now's the time to act fast and hire help, but it can't just be anyone. Find the person who gets your brand and has the skills that matter on Indeed. No more struggling to get your listing noticed on other sites. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post stands out and attracts the right candidates fast, and it really works. Sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to result in a hire, so this is truly the best way to reach top talent. That's how I do it if I were looking for anybody from podcast editors to community experts. Background matters, and Indeed allows me to narrow my search to people with the right experience and know-how. Possible candidates with years of experience on shows just like this one. And here's the thing with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. I get people who actually fit my requirements. No more digging through resumes. Plus, you only pay for results on Indeed. No monthly subscriptions, just a boost when you need to hire fast. So spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. Now with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Just go to Indeed.com/SmartPassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/SmartPassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. Welcome to episode 900 of the SPI podcast. This is insane that we have come this far, 900 episodes. And I think back to July of 2010. I mean, it's almost 2026 now. I've been at this for over 15 years. We are now on the home stretch to 1,000 episodes. And thank you so much for listening to any minutes of this podcast. I appreciate it so much. So I wanted to do something very special today. I wanted to bring back, out of all the things I've ever spoken about, the #1 thing that I've been asked to speak about, the #1 thing that has helped me create a best-selling book, and the #1 concept, principle, thought, idea, and presentation that I want to offer you. That is the most important thing any brand, business, personality, online authority, personal brand can think about today. And that is the idea of creating superfans. And I do want to give credit to where credit is due. Kevin Kelly, who wrote an article back in, I think, 2005 titled 1,000 True Fans, has been absolutely game-changing, life-changing for myself, my business, my other channels, and every other part of the internet. Really, because the idea of creating experiences and helping people become super fans of your stuff is the secret to winning, especially today, because what makes a person a super fan? Connection, relatability, it makes them feel something, a product, a brand, a person. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what a super fan is, right? A super fan is defined by Kevin Kelly as that musician who their super fans wait 8 hours after the show backstage just to get an autograph or a glimpse of that person. It's a person who, with a product, will stand in line for hours or, in fact, camp overnight just to get the thing. Or if you are an online business, it's the person who just, the moment they get that email, they don't even read the sales page. They don't even care what it is. They are such a super fan that they'll click that buy now button, and they cannot wait to use your product, to support it, and to share it. A super fan is somebody who will step up when somebody's being mean to you, when a troll shows up in your comments or in your community. They're going to be there to defend you before you even know they exist. Building a business for superfans is the secret to success. Because today, everything is feeling less real. Everything is artificial. I mean, literally artificial intelligence, Sora videos that you can't even tell what the difference is between a real video and a not so real video, which the implications of that, especially legally and just safety wise, is very, very scary. So people need to feel like they have something they can connect with. This is just human nature. And so when I first came up with the concept of really bringing the 1,000 True Fans concept, the principle that Kevin Kelly wrote and put out there into the world, and bringing it to life with a how-to behind it, because that was something that was lacking with that article. I loved that article. It inspired me. It basically said if you had 1,000 true fans, people who, for example, just paid you $100 a year, that's less than $10 a month for whatever it is that you do, your craft, your art, your music, your creative, whatever it might be. That's a six-figure business right there. And when that math was presented to me in that article, it was just like, wow, why am I trying to get millions of subscribers, millions of followers? Let me work on creating a fan a day for less than 3 years. And it really, again, brings into perspective what we should be creating: communities, relationships, connection, belonging, attention. These things are important. So in this episode 900, I just wanted to reiterate the Superfans concept for you. Many of you have gotten access to my book, whether it's the physical copy or the audio version, which goes off script a little bit, like I always do. But Superfans, I mean, I know I just published Lean Learning, and it's some of my best work, and I love it, and I'm continuing to promote it. But I want to bring back Superfans, because Superfans is super important. And when it comes to building a business today, if you're not creating that connection to your audience, if you're not building those experiences, those memories, then you're doing it wrong. You know, Superfans aren't created the moment people find you. They're not created the moment they get something from you the first time. They're created by the moments that you create for them over time. And you don't have to be the Backstreet Boys or the Stray Kids or Stranger Things or a Pokemon creator in order to have Superfans. I had Superfans with this podcast all the way back in 2010 and 2011. I've had Superfans of my speaking and who've followed me to see me speak on stage and continue to get value from me. I've had people become Superfans of the Switch Pod, an invention that Caleb and I have put together. Doesn't matter what it is. As long as you understand the principles behind it, you can win. So I'm going to reframe this for you. I'm going to bring it back and rehash this presentation for you that I've given multiple times. And whether you've read Superfans or not, we're going to talk about it today. And it starts with this idea of the pyramid of fandom. If you consider everybody who's ever come across your brand or whoever will come across your brand, I want you to visualize a pyramid divided into 4 different sections. And of course, the bottom section is going to be the largest section, and that's where people enter your brand or get introduced to you. And they're introduced at the bottom, which is your casual audience. This makes up most of your audience. And when you put things out there on social media, short form video, when people are finding you for the first time on YouTube, if people discover your podcast, if they just somehow hear about you on Google or ChatGPT or a friend, they're coming in at this level, the casual audience level. And it's our job to convert people from a casual audience member to an active audience member. This is where somebody now becomes a subscriber of yours, a follower, a perhaps even customer. You might have thought that customer is at the top, but no, customer is just a part of the journey. And in many cases, it's just the start of the relationship building process for a lot of people. But that start can turn into something amazing. This is where you have people who now know you exist and what you do and the kinds of things that you create and come up with. And that's great. Casual audience members, they're just kind of getting what they need and they might leave. But again, we need to hold them and bring them into an active audience where now they are looking forward to some of the things that you have. They understand what value you have to provide. They may share some stuff, they may not, but they know you exist and want potentially more of it. Where the magic really happens is when you understand that you need to now convert those active audience members that are sort of flying solo in your space to now feeling like they're a part of a connected community. We want to convert them to a community member. And a community member doesn't mean somebody is just now having a one-way conversation with you and you're having a one-way conversation with them. It's a conversation amongst each other. This is where people start to feel like there are other people like them that exist. And that's very, very important. I've told the story many times when back in 2013, I was in St. Louis doing a presentation at the Financial Blogger Conference. And I had rented out like a pizza joint, and we were having pizza, salad, and some beers, and I was kind of going around meeting everybody. All my fans were there. I invited them for free food and just to network and meet with each other. And at the end of the night, there was this one woman who I hadn't met yet. I hadn't even seen her all night, and I felt really bad because I had set this up to meet people. And when I met her on the way back to the hotel, I said, "Hey, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to chat, but we can chat more at the hotel." And she said, "Pat, excuse me, I don't want you to be offended by this, but I didn't come here to see you." And at first I was a little taken aback. I was like, "Okay, why did you come?" And she said, "I came because never do I get a chance to find other people like me." And she went on, "I listen to your podcast every day. I see you on YouTube and I appreciate it, but I don't have access to people like me where I'm from. So I wanted to take advantage of that. And I met so many amazing people here, and I've already met some people who we're going to partner together on some campaigns in the future." And I was like, oh my gosh, I was going about this all wrong. This was really my first grasp in 2013 at the idea that we as creators, we need to be the facilitator of our communities. We need to be the ones that step up to set this up and to create a safe space for people to connect with one another. It's not about us. We are not the hero of the story. Yes, we might be the people who have the resources and the ability. We are the connective tissue between this community. But people come for the content and they stay for the community. They stay for each other. They want to know that they are not alone. And you know that. When you get involved in anything, you want to know that there are other people like you there. If you walk into a party solo, you kind of feel timid. You're worried about whether or not you'll belong there. But as soon as you see a friend or somebody who is wearing the same costume as you, or I'm recording this on Halloween Day, by the way, which is why I'm thinking about Halloween, but any sort of connective tissue becomes an immediate, the guardrails go down, right? Now I feel like I can be a part of this. And that's what we want to do with our people online. This is why we've been talking about community for so long. This is why we tout about it, why we demonstrate it with our own SPI community. And so when you build Superfans, the other beauty of this is that no matter what happens with technology, if your brand were to go away, if you were to get hacked like I did also in 2013, you'll be fine. Your Superfans will come with you. Now, it doesn't end with the community, because there are people who are a part of a community, but they're not quite yet superfans. Some people will naturally become superfans. They just create a habit of absorbing your brand and hearing your voice and being a part of the community, having conversations. It just becomes a part of their life. And in many cases, those people will just naturally become superfans who will want to support you, because in supporting you, they are supporting themselves. But there are some things we can do to convert some of those people to superfans, to the sort of mega fans who will go out of their way to help and support you, who are incredible, not just because, yay, they'll pay more money for stuff. That's just the byproduct. That's actually not the primary reason why you need superfans. They will become a part of your marketing team without you even asking. They will also be there to call you out to get you back on track when you're getting off track. And I found that to be probably the most valuable part of having superfans in my brand, which is when people are starting to notice that you're veering off course, doesn't feel right to them, and they will tell you, they will let you know, because they're being protective of that brand that you've spent so hard building. And it's, again, the connection to the superfans that can bring you back on course. And you don't need very many. You don't even need 1,000. When you're starting out, you just might need a couple people in your community who feel like they belong, who will now protect you and your brand and where it's going. And I think that's really, really important. So how do we convert people from one part of this pyramid to the next? Well, let's start from the bottom. Your casual audience. Remember, these are people who've just found you in some way, but they don't really know who you are or are connected to you. They just kind of maybe got a piece of content from you or heard about you. There's a few things you can do. Number one, the better that you can speak the language of your target audience, the more likely they are to really resonate with what you have to share and then want to follow. Because you can have the best information in the world. You can have all the right strategies to help a person. But if you're speaking at a different level, or if you're not sharing the same language, then it's not even going to feel like it won't connect. I used to follow this red-headed, I don't know why I'm saying it this way. This dude, he's got red hair. He's on social media. What a weird way to introduce this person. I don't know his name, but I've followed his videos because I got caught on his feed. And it's this guy, he's kind of a ginger-looking guy, red hair, and he goes on these websites where he connects with people on the other side of the world, people who are trying to learn English. And he'll connect with a person in China, and he'll have a conversation in English, and you can tell that the person on the other end from China is practicing their English. And then all of a sudden, this guy who you wouldn't expect busts out in like fluent Chinese Mandarin. And it just like blows the mind of the person who's from China. They cannot believe it. And you can immediately see the guardrails go down. They just connect. They're now flowing. They're in a conversation. And yes, it's very impressive that this person who you think that they only speak English because they have a thick sort of New York accent, boom, they go into hardcore Mandarin, and you can just see the connection because they're sharing literally the same language. Now, I don't mean sharing the same language for you in the sense of, well, speak English because most people speak English. No, I mean, you might have a different language that might make more sense for you in terms of like language of the world. But what I'm talking about is language of how is a person dealing with the problems that they're dealing with? What are the kind of words they use? How do they describe their problems? It was Jay Abraham who said, if you can define the problem better than their target customer, they will automatically assume you have the solution because that connection happens immediately. So I'm talking specific words. There's a reason why my book, Will It Fly, was titled Will It Fly? How to Test Your Next Business Idea so you don't waste your time and money. Wasting time and wasting money were the number one struggles that new business owners had. A reason why they never took action because they didn't want to waste time or they didn't want to waste money. So I just took that language, put it right on my book, and it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller because it really resonated with them. So learning the language of your target audience is key. How do you learn the language of your target audience? Go to where they are and listen. Ask questions. Have conversations. Just like it doesn't have to be that hard. If this were easy, what would it look like? You know that question. If this were easy, what would it look like? Well, you would just listen to conversations and hear the words they're saying. This is why when people ask me, Pat, what would you do if you were just starting out in a new niche? How would you best serve that audience and generate revenue faster? Well, it's not about creating a course first or writing a book or consultate. Like, I don't know what they might want. I don't know how they're going through life and what they need and what their struggles are. So let me put myself into places where they are. So I would spend money to go to events where that target audience exists and just have conversations and keep track of them. After a conversation, start to create a spreadsheet of the different stories I collect and start to become a collector of experiences so that I can provide solutions to perhaps negative experiences or give them more of those positive experiences that they talk about. That's what I would do. So that's one way to really connect with a casual audience is you speak their language. And that could be done on your website, on social media, in the videos that you do, in the stories that you tell on your podcast, and the emails that they receive in the subject lines of those emails as well. Because if people aren't clicking because of the subject line, they aren't reading the emails. So you can see how important that language is. Another great way to get a casual audience member to become an active audience member is to get them a small, quick win. When you think about video games, right? If you remember Angry Birds, I don't know if anybody plays Angry Birds anymore, but very popular game. The first level, you have 3 Angry Birds and you kind of fling them with a slingshot into a little structure that has these green piggies on them. In the first level, there's like one bad piggy, that's it, on a structure where if you hit any part of it, you're going to win. It's easy. And then what happens? You get points and stars, the little music plays, and then you move on to the next level, and all of a sudden, you're on level 490, and you forget to pick up your kids from school. The power of a quick win. You know how I'm always testing AI tools? Well, I found one that's completely changed how I create content, and I'm not just saying that. Here's my honest take. Most AI tools give you generic robotic content that sounds nothing like you, and I'd spend forever, for example, trying to get ChatGPT to match my voice and style. Then I discovered Poppy AI and everything clicked. Instead of typing into a boring chat window, Poppy gives you a visual canvas, and I can literally drag in my old newsletters, podcast episodes, and even my book manuscript and connect them to the AI chat. And here's what happened. I dropped in 5 unstuck newsletters, connected my Lean Learning book, and asked for a new newsletter about micromastery. And the result was an email in my exact format, my tone, and even suggested a dad joke that was tied to the content. I'm not kidding. It was 98% ready to publish. No more fighting with AI to sound human. And I use this daily now for newsletters, video scripts, research, you name it. And it's saved me hours, hundreds of hours, because I can feed it multiple sources at once and see exactly what it's working with. And the visual element of it is just genius. You can literally see the connections between your content. So if you want to try it yourself, go to smartpassiveincome.com/poppy and use the code SPI for $25 off. That's smartpassiveincome.com/POPPY. Use code SPI. You started a business, but you didn't expect to become the head of everything. Now you're doing marketing, customer service, and IT with no staff support. And at some point, doing it all becomes the reason nothing gets done. Stop doing everything. Instead of spending weeks sorting through random resumes, Upwork Business Plus sends a curated shortlist of expert talent right to your inbox in just a few hours. Trusted, top-rated freelancers vetted for skills and reliability, rehired by businesses just like yours. If you're overextended and understaffed, Upwork Business Plus helps you bring in top-quality freelancers fast. Get instant access to the top 1% of talent on Upwork in marketing, design, AI, and more, who are ready to jump in and take work off your plate. When finding talent you can trust feels impossible, it's easy to default to doing everything yourself. Upwork Business Plus sources, vets, and shortlists proven experts so you can stop doing it all, allowing you to delegate with confidence. Right now, when you spend $1,000 on Upwork Business Plus, you'll get $500 in credit. Go to upwork.com/save now and claim the offer before 12/31/2025. Again, that's upwork.com/SAVE. Scale smarter with top talent and $500 in credit. Terms and conditions apply. Charles Duhigg, actually, who wrote a book called The Power of Habit, has a whole chapter on the power of the quick win. Literally something that within the first 5 to 10 minutes after discovering you, they can do something that they weren't able to do before. The example I always use personally is the one with Ramit Sethi. Ramit's been a guest on the podcast several times, and just to be frank with you, I was not a fan of his at first because he was a little off-putting, he was a little aggressive. Back in the day, he would kind of make fun of a lot of people who were more in the sort of, the extreme coupon saver world, which I wasn't one of those people, but I was just like, man, that's kind of harsh. Anyway, that's a part of his brand. That's just who he is. And then one day I read an article of his on his blog that was essentially a script where you could call your cable company or your phone bill company and you read the script out to them and you could save money on your bill. And I did that during lunch one day when I was still in architecture. This was way back in 2007. I read this article, I followed his steps, and within 10 minutes during lunch one day, I was able to save like 25% of my cable bill. And over the course of a year, and that's hundreds of dollars. That's something that I didn't have before that Ramit taught me how to do in just a few minutes. And it worked. And it was after that, I dove deep and hard into all the rest of his articles. And I learned a lot from him. I learned what it means to live a rich life. Not rich in money, but rich in experiences and things that matter to me. And also being okay with spending money on things that matter, but then saving lavishly and not spending on the things that don't. And I wouldn't have gotten into his work and purchased his books and even purchased a few courses of his if it wasn't for that small, quick win. So what's the equivalent of that in your world? Something that you could provide somebody that maybe they were just trying to get and they just weren't able to get before, or something new that they can discover through you. From there, you can take them on this journey together. But it starts with a quick win, especially today with so much noise out there, so much just overwhelm and just heaviness out there in the world. If you can get them a small, quick win, I mean, they're going to continue to come back. There is some science behind this as well, right? That reptilian part of our ancient brain that gets a reward, and we just want to keep going back to that same place where we get that reward over and over and over again. It's a powerful thing. And with great power comes great responsibility. So hopefully you use that for good. All right, let's move up this pyramid a bit. Let's imagine now a person is a subscriber, a follower. They follow you on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever it might be. They are a subscriber of your email list. Great. That's fantastic. And that's a very important thing to do. But how do we then make them feel like they're a part of a community? How do we make them feel like they belong and that they're just not alone on this journey, but there are other people like them there? Again, this is where magic happens. This is where people start to form groups and have an identity as a fan of your work, right? Not just musicians and like Swifties and Beliebers and Directioners, or in the world of K-pop, right? With Stray Kid, there's the Stays. That's what they call their army of audiences, right? The BTS army, Beyonce's Beehive. You can have a similar thing too. And you don't have to necessarily name your fans, and sometimes they name themselves, but the principle and that idea of identity is really important here. So they need to know that other people like them exist. So a very easy way to help people feel like they're a part of something, even before you build an actual community, like with something like Circle, or you connect these people together, just the mere fact that they know other people like them exist is step one. And this might mean using your platforms to share the stories of other people in your community. This is something that we love to do, and actually, it's a brilliant marketing strategy. If we're talking about the success stories of people in our community, in the SPI community, it shows people on the outside the kinds of people that are succeeding in our community. And guess what? It also shows them how they succeeded, aka with the community. So it actually self-promotes itself. It's almost like a flywheel, which is really cool. I invite people who have been very successful within our brand onto the podcast, like Dr. B, and you might remember Dr. Shannon Irvine from last week. She was a student of mine, and now she's written this book, and it's amazing. So by showcasing the success stories of those inside of your community, even just one at a time, even though you're not able to do that with everybody, especially as your brand grows, it is, in a sense, doing it for everybody because you are showcasing and spotlighting a person just like them. So do that. Showcase your audience. Read Story Brand by Donald Miller. That is a brilliant way, almost a play-by-play on how to make your customers, your students, your subscribers the hero of the story. And when you share that hero's journey, and a hero, of course, doesn't just have great things happen to them all the time. They go through challenges. They have dragons, metaphorical dragons that they need to slay. But they also have advisors, a guide, an Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? That has helped Luke Skywalker. You are the Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so when people see this hero's journey that you are, again, shaping, and it's a great way to tell content or showcase content in a story format. People love story. The before, after, the struggle, the relatability there. And then when they see the person that is just like them get through something that they are going through, they are going to want to get the same kind of help. From where? From you. So this is brilliant. Story Brand by Donald Miller, or Building a Story Brand is the name of the book by Donald Miller. Probably the best book that you could read right now for where we're at in the world on how to market, because your customers, your students are the hero of the story. And this is why we love showcasing and bringing people from the SPI community here. This is why, and I'm not just talking about like have them come on and tell a testimonial, right? Have them come on and unpack the struggles that they went through and the transformation that they went through. And what about the work that you do with them was the most impactful for them? And when they say this in their own voice, in their own words, in the same language that their audience will respond to, it's just like magic. It's just like magic. So consider that right now as an exercise. Think about who in your audience has transformed in some way, shape, or form because of you. How might you capture that in some way? Maybe you have a podcast where you can tell their story in more of a video essay style or documentary style sort of video. Another way to make people feel like they're a part of community is to actually, in fact, bring your community together in some way. And there's some easy ways to do this, right? Again, if this were easy, what would it look like? You can have them come in together in a small little community, like a group, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, to find each other, to connect with one another. Over time, you can upgrade it and get into a more serious and more professional community, like on Circle, like what we have at SPI, but you don't need to start there. Maybe it starts in a WhatsApp group or a text message string. These connections just immediately start creating bonds. And what's really cool, especially if you start creating things that have, for example, a recurring payment, monthly payment, quarterly payment, annual payment to stay in the community, as soon as people find each other, they're in. This is what we know and why we connect people together as much as possible, and what allows us to have some of the lowest churn rates in our community that are in the industry. Because we know and understand the importance of connecting people together. And yeah, it takes a little bit of work. It's not just like automatic. But we have to notice patterns and the kinds of people that are in our space, and we connect them together. But it is so worth it. It is so worth it. So think about how you might go about creating easy ways for your people to connect with one another. One thing I love to do is go live. I remember going live during 2020, during the pandemic, and I had a show on YouTube called The Income Stream. And it was 365 days straight of going live every single morning. It provided some rhythm and a cadence for people who were going through some struggles during that time where nobody knew exactly what was going to happen or how it was going to go down. But it provided some stability. And those people who showed up every day at 9 a.m. Pacific for the income stream during that year, March 2020 to March 2021, we did not miss a day. we bonded. We became a family. People got to know each other. Some of those people actually, when things opened back up after the pandemic, they flew out to meet each other. They bonded so well. And of course, many of them are now still a part of the brand. And when we showed up and created the SPI community, they're a part of that as well. You could go further and even bring people together in person. You can facilitate situations like that. I do that in the Pokemon community. Just last month, we had, actually, it's October 31st. So no, earlier this month, I hosted my 4th event called Card Party, 4th in 3 years. And we had 8,000 people, just about 8,000 people show up to talk about Pokemon and nerd out about Pokemon, to buy, sell, and trade Pokemon, to build new experiences and memories with relation to Pokemon in this thing that, again, yes, it's quote unquote my event, but it's not even about me. I'm just the MC, I'm the host. It's about the people who are there, the fans meeting the other creators who are there with the vendors and the sponsors, all creating this sense of just community within the space. And so, no, I don't just talk the talk here with this kind of stuff. I walk the walk. And I think anybody knows that who has dove in deep into the kinds of things that we execute on over here. And I think that's really important for you to understand as well when it comes to your stuff. There's so much information out there. You could say anything that you want, but what are you demonstrating? What are you actually doing to show up and to actually prove the things that you're saying? Anyway, I don't need to talk more about that. I want to share some more ways that you can convert your active audience into a connected community. One thing I love to do, and the beauty of having a actually online connected community, is you can crowdsource from your community. You can have your community feel like they are a part of the process. They are integrated into the brand and actually help influence the brand in some way, shape, or form. Now, I'm not saying you have to just let your people run the company and have it go any which way, but even giving little moments of time for your audience and your community to feel like they have a say in something and to actually have a say in something is really key. It could be similar to what we do. We have town halls in the SPI community where we have people who are big fans come up and share suggestions, share even criticisms and things that we could do to improve the situation and the experience that people have, which I think is amazing. We call on our audience to ask what they want to learn about next, and that helps influence what our next accelerators are about or what our next courses can be about. By the way, we are very soon to be launching a short form video course because guess what? People have been asking for it. So it's already partway filmed because it's very, very much a hot topic right now, and we wanted to create that for you. So yeah, get involved in the SPI community. You have access to all of our courses and material, and that's going to be the next one that comes out very, very soon. You can have people just vote. Hey, I have a book coming out. Which of these 3 covers do you like best? And just get them involved. When you get people involved, they get invested. Let me say that one more time because this is a very important principle of a successful community. When you get people involved, they become invested. And that, in a sense, also means they will invest or could invest or be more likely to invest, not just with money, but with time into your brand, into marketing it, into supporting it, into defending it, and again, having it feel like it's a part of their lives, which it is at this point. And from there, we're at the tippy top of this pyramid now. We started at the bottom, casual audience. That's part 1. We have converted them into now the active audience, which is part 2. Then the connected community, which is part 3. And the smallest part of the pyramid, but the most powerful, are the superfans. And I've said this already, but your superfans will promote your brand without you even asking. But think about what that means. Somebody within the brand who's a follower, a fan, subscriber, community member, they're a superfan. They start talking about your brand with their audience, with their people, with their families, with their friends, their community. And think about where that person who heard about your community from this superfan comes into your brand now. They're not coming in as a casual audience member anymore. They are very likely to come in already higher up because it is a recommendation coming from someone who has already built trust with them. The trust factor fast forwards that success. And so this is the power of superfans. They're coming in not at the bottom anymore, anybody who comes in from your superfans. They're coming in more closer to the top already. They might even come in already a community member because your superfan has already done a lot of that legwork and trust building for you. This is what is so powerful about even a small group of superfans. And like I said earlier, some of your community members will just automatically become superfans, but there's a few things you can do. And one of my favorite things to do, And every time I share this on stage too. It blows people's minds because it's free and it's easy. And it all is about the principle of just time and attention. That's it. So here's one thing I still continue to do. On Fridays, I'll go on a walk with my dogs, and I have my phone, and I go on Instagram. Instagram just makes it very easy. I could do this on most other platforms, but I just choose one because I want to make it easy. You can't do this with everybody, but some things, and at this point in the pyramid, pun intended, it shouldn't be scalable. It's just something that you got to do and will create fans. You go out and you reach out to people who've interacted with you. Maybe they've replied to a post or they've shared something or they sent you a DM. You reply back with a video, not text. Maybe audio could work, but I think there's so much power when it comes to a person seeing that you took the time to send them a message, especially if it wasn't prompted. Like, I love just going to random commenters and then sending them, like a random follower on Instagram, and sending them a 30-second video, just thanking them for being a follower and for being active in the community, and even prompting like, hey, what are you working on right now that I can maybe create some content about? That goes a very long way. No other motive than just reaching out and letting them know that you know that they're there. And this is one of the most powerful things that you can do. If you can do this also with people who are seemingly more active in your community, if you already have like a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group and you notice there's a few people who are just rock stars in there, reach out to them. Recognize them. It will blow their mind. And so on this dog walk that I do, where one hand I have a leash, the other hand I have my phone, I can get through 30 to 60 of these in about one walk. Usually I get a reply back. And they're so grateful. They're so thankful. And they're like, I can't believe you took the time to send me a video. It was only 30 seconds, but it feels like everything. And that's how you can get a super fan to really feel the love and want to give back. Because what is it really all about? It's about connection. And you've just made an incredible connection with a person who didn't expect it. It is those small, unexpected surprises that go further than the bigger campaigns and things like that, right? Think about this. A spouse who says, I love you every night before they go to bed. Good night, honey. I love you. Good night, honey. I love you. Good night. It's the same thing every night, right? It doesn't mean you love them less, but it's just expected. It's routine. But think about the person who on a random Tuesday at 3:48 p.m. sends a long stem rose or a box of chocolates or something to your spouse's work. For no other reason. It's not an anniversary. It's not a birthday. It's just because. Boom. It is those small, unexpected moments that create the connection that will last forever. So how might you create those small, unexpected moments for your audience? I want to thank you for 900 episodes, for giving me the motivation and the encouragement to keep going. To all the guests that have been on the show, and to especially all the super fans out there who have continued to follow through the journey, through the different phases of SPI, through the blogging days, to the podcasting days, to the video days, to now the Pokemon days, the community days, and who knows what days are coming. But no matter what, I just want to say thank you so much for everything, because this has been such a joy. 900 episodes after 15 years. My son is turning 16 soon. He's going to get behind the wheel soon. My daughter is a teenager now as well. Thank you for 900. Here's just some more. Have an amazing day. Cheers. More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands. Ever feel like running your business means living in browser tab overload? One for your CRM, another for email, one for booking, and about a dozen spreadsheets holding it all together? Yeah, I've been there before, and that's why I'm excited to share High Level, the all-in-one marketing and automation platform built for entrepreneurs, creators, and agencies just like us. With High Level, you can capture leads, follow up automatically, manage your funnels, emails, payments, and even text your clients, all from one clean, easy-to-use dashboard. I've seen so many business owners simplify their systems, save money, and actually grow faster because everything finally works together in one place. Whether you're selling courses, coaching, or services, High Level helps you build, automate, and scale without the tech overwhelm. And the best part? It's super intuitive. No coding required, and you'll get step-by-step onboarding to get up and running fast. So if you're ready to ditch the chaos and finally have your business run like a well-oiled machine, check out High Level. It might just be the upgrade your business has been waiting for. Head to smartpassiveincome.com/highlevel right now to start your free 30-day trial and see why over 80,000 entrepreneurs trust High Level to power their business. That's smartpassiveincome.com/highlevel. Your business powered by automation.